Got any updates on Shedeur, Trav? How those guys doing, man?
Trav doing better than I've ever seen him in life, man. Just, the new man, the husband Trav, Papa Trav, like different guy, bro. And it's beautiful thing, like the level of peace that he's at, the work that he's putting back in, and like I said, he's been out the way, just head down, sticking to business. But now you about to see him pop back out again, and he gonna be Trav 2.0. Like he gonna be another version of himself. I call him Wolverine. He went in there, got stitched up and healed up real quick, and he back at it. Shedeur, man, I was with him for the last month. He killed. I ain't like he killed me. Like I be trying to keep up, but bruh, the Shedeur, we've seen this time and time again. From me to you, Shedeur is in a different level that none of us has ever seen him at before. Like he's operating at a frequency that we've never seen before. Like to the point it's mind blowing. Like, man, I've been around the kids in like 5th, 6th grade, bro. Like, so I know. So now it's not the fact, because again, he always was a hard worker. That was never in question. But the stuff that he's so meticulous and intentional about now is like he's surgical. Like he was always surgical with it, but he's surgical in life. And with the boss right now, I'm not even worried about him at this point. Like when they say, "Oh, it's on them," I'm like, man, we good. If it's on him now, we good. He ain't never operated at the level he's operating at now. Like it's scary.
He's done a whole lot, man. This program was down, man, since he's came here.
We're gonna represent today. They got us.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome what he's doing, man. It's not about him, all about just coaching, man. He's teaching these guys how to become good men, man. So that's what I love about it, man.
After Prime, like it's night and day, man.
All the way here.
Memphis 10.
Memphis 10 in the
Dirty Dime.
You already know what's up. Yeah, Uncle Neely in the house.
Neely, pregame show behind the scenes of everything. And why does he get that kind of access? Why does he get that kind of access? Because trust is involved. You would never get the kind of access you desire unless there's trust and relationship. You trying to put your phone back?
Okay.
Tell him what you're talking about. Tell Neely what you're talking about. And where's Neely? Neely in? You guys need to see Curtis or Neely to get some training so you understand how to articulate yourself on a national level.
Watch you every single day. Nobody lays it down like Uncle Neely and the pregame show.
Let's go, pregame show!
Hey, y'all know who it is. Y'all know what it is. It's yours truly, Uncle Neely from the Pregame Network, checking in for one of the last times, at least this season, from good old home studio in Jackson, Mississippi. Getting ready to head out to Boulder, where it's colder. But before we get out of here, we did a sit down with my man Boog from Young Money, talking about everything from Shedeur Travis to his agency work, you name it, raw and uncut, unfiltered. You can always count on Boog to bring it. So without further ado, it's and it's Boog. Let's get it. I'll be in the air.
Okay. I'll be meeting you there about a week or so.
I know it. Man, good to catch up with you because you're rarely sitting down. You're on the move so much.
Man, I'm about to be on the move now. Look, I'm only sitting still because of you, bro. You got me sitting still. Look, I'm about to, as soon as I hit end on this, I'm on my way to Jacksonville to go see Travis Hunter and Cam Sim and Craig, man.
Man, good stuff. How's everything been going with your players and you personally? How's everything going in your world, man?
Man, things starting to move fast, but in a great way. All the guys are doing well. Everybody healthy. Everybody on the field doing what they got to do. We're a couple weeks away from the bright lights kicking in. So, man, that's for me. I'm same old. Keep going.
Man, everybody, like when they see sports agencies and agents and the work that goes on and they think about the draft, right? They don't necessarily think about what you guys do the other 11 months, if you will. Talk about that process and like what your role is for athletes that are in college as well as the NFL, during the season.
The other 11 months are treacherous. It's on the road, in the air. Rent a car, hotel, living out the bag. Eat what you can eat when you can. See this guy in the morning in Colorado. We got to see a guy in the evening in Miami. It's nonstop, but it's also too, if you love it, man, it never feel like work. So and for the seat I sit in, as a head operation, just building out the company and all the logistics and making sure that, all my agents are going where they need to go. If this is your area, I need you here. Making sure that all my guys that we own, that we, the brand building is happening, because I'm big on building the brand. These guys that are, especially in this NIL era, if you're gonna capitalize on anything, man, the brand has to be, it has to be what it is. It has to be what we've seen, over the past few years. A lot of our guys that come out of there with big brands. You had guys that come from under our wing that weren't typically first round picks, but they still had big brands.
Mm-hmm.
You look at guys like the Jimmy Horns and the LeJontay Westers and the Will Shepard, they, late picks, but they brand, they're more known than a lot of guys who went before them in the draft, so a lot of times I feel like things that we focus on that a lot of people don't is just, make sure that brand explodes.
And man, speaking of that, man, it has to be like some differences now compared to then, because with guys having the brand and NIL in college, once upon a time, Boog was just like 5-6 years ago, but once upon a time, the carrot on the stick was the NFL. Well, now with guys getting paid in college, how do y'all balance the NIL bag for a college athlete and then going to see getting that NFL bag? Like, what's been the difference now that NIL is in? Is it better or worse?
Better for sure.
Okay.
It's better for the players and their families, of course, and it's better for us as companies. Because now you operate in a space where you recruit these guys now. Can you really be relatable? Can you really add some substance to what they're doing? Because these guys coming with money already. Back, like you say, 6 years before, you go get a guy who probably ain't had no money, and you probably could trick him into something. You know what I'm saying? These people was tricking guys into this and that and the other, because they were just, going about it the wrong way, because they were taking advantage of the vulnerable guys. Now these kids aren't so vulnerable. Like, when they come to that table, they got their own, but their bank account looking pretty good. So when you had a real conversation, you got to really be able to sit down and say, hey, man, I got some real substance. I got something that's really going to help you go to another level. So it's been better in a lot of ways for everybody, actually. But them having their own money, man, like, and like I say, that is just a whole nother thing within itself. But also to build that brand, a lot of people can't maximize on the money off the field necessarily yet, because they haven't figured out the first part. 'Cause a lot of people like to say branding and marketing. They like to put them together. But I tell you guys, it's not the same. Branding is one thing, marketing is another. But if you try to put the marketing before the branding, you're not gonna get much. But if you put the branding and you build a brand, then the marketing gonna go through the roof. That's just kind of how I see it, man.
But there's another piece to that. A lot of guys, they come out of high school, they jump into the NIL space with some assumptions that there's a bag for everybody, and they kind of put their NIL desires before their performance on the field. Talk about that correlation between brand and marketing, but you still got to keep the main thing, because nobody wants to buy a jersey or a shirt or some lotion from somebody that ain't scoring. Like, how do you get these guys to focus on the main thing?
First of all, you got to detect and figure out which guys really love this. First and foremost, when you're recruiting, you got to have an eye for it. You got to know, like, is he talented, or is he just gifted, or he's a guy that really want to be the best at what he do. And that's first and foremost, because then no matter what come with it, the main thing, like you say, the main thing always remain the main thing. You got to have your meat and potatoes, and that's just the desire to be the best. So when you get guys like that, man, those are the guys you want to build around, because you know that everything that you build is going to be sustainable. Because a lot of these guys want to cash in before they even made a play, and it's like that short. For most of them, it's going to be short lived. And then you get some of those guys, like say, like the Travises and the Shedeurs of the world, who understand, like, I'm doing this to be the best at it. Those are the brands that last beyond their playing days. Like, like I say, Travis Hunter could put a football down today, which I pray to God he don't do it no time soon. But he could put it down today and make a great living for the rest of his life off of his brand. Yeah. Shedeur Sanders could put a football down today and make a beautiful living off of his brand. But they always kept the main thing first, and then beyond that, everything that came after, they just super professional, bro. They understand how to work, how much work it take to put into this. And I was just going through this with somebody the other day, like they was talking about their brand. I'm like, bro, you don't understand what it take to really build a brand that big. Like, Shedeur don't stop, bro. Like, it's people try to question and turn it to a bad thing, but that's a great thing. He don't have a stop button. Yeah. It's workout, meeting, workout, interview, workout, film session, workout. Let's go get a massage. Workout. While I'm on the massage table, I'm having Zoom calls with the team, and You know, it's nonstop, bro. And those are things that it takes for those guys to really understand how big do you really want to get. You know, of course you got to perform, but also you got to put in the work off the field. Like outside of that, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That matters.
Yeah, one of the correlations when you talked about Travis there, Shedeur there, and a lot of successful people I see, man, one of the places it simply starts is just being a good damn person. Like, you know, you're
Yep.
talking about some just genuine cats, like, and it reminds me of like how y'all got together with Young Money when you started, that the whole start of it was we tired of seeing people getting taken advantage of and then being left with nothing when their playing day's over. So we're not doing this like look, Wayne got his. Like we're not doing this to add to us. We're doing this to expand to y'all. Talk about that good person aspect, man, and how y'all put that philosophy first.
Again, when you know who you're recruiting, it makes your life a lot easier for you. It's not necessarily early on in this game. We always wanted. We were kind of going in like, man, let's find the best player. Let's find the best player who projected to go high. But as you get in this game, you kind of learn a little bit more. You start realizing that just because they're projected high, don't mean they're gonna last long. So then you kind of change the way you attack this thing. You start looking for great people who are not only great people, but people who have come from great families, and like who were raised right. When you start meeting with these people, you start figuring out, okay, what's been instilled in you, and then that helps you like further. Like, okay, I don't want to deal with that one. Oh yeah, that's the one I need. You know, because that's the one I'm still gonna be here with 10 to 15 years from now because I know he was raised a certain way. So those things matter a whole lot. And like you say, Wayne, them man didn't get in this because I need the money. I need this. I got my own money. And further foremost, the other side of the company, which I put two companies together, APAA side, they definitely don't need no money. They the 17th wealthiest family in the world, bro. Like they started Budweiser. They sold Budweiser in 2009 for $52 billion, huh? Like nobody ever make that kind of money in the sports agency lane ever. Like I don't care. You go put all the sports agencies together, it won't be a fraction of that.
Yeah.
So that was never the intention with building. It was just want to be good people and pay it forward to help make sure that these guys that we're going after don't become a part of that statistic. When I say statistic, I mean the 7-8% that go broke within 2 years of retirement.
Yeah.
It's understanding that the industry has a problem. That was a problem that's been happening since before time, and nobody has seen to come with a solution. And now we're coming with a real solution because we're in the game in a different lane, and we're structured different than a lot of people. We're self-funded, so we play by our own rules. So it's a lot of things that come with that too when you're looking into how you gonna recruit a guy, why you recruiting this guy, and what it entails. And again, how was he raised? What do he believe in? What was his infrastructure? Like those things matter.
Yeah, that's what's so key to it, Boog, because you look at like the pharmaceutical industry, for example, all the money they spend on say marketing and pushing the drugs. It's like the money is not in the cure, right? The money is in you staying on.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in the old school agency game before y'all popped on the scene. Is like I really could care less what happens to you after you playing done because I don't make money off you after that.
Bingo.
So y'all have kind of flipped the narrative, like, no, this is for life. Like we want you to sustain this.
Yes, sir. There you go. And that's the difference again. And when you self-funded, you could do those things. You could play by your own rules because I don't have no private equity guys over my head telling me, hey man, I need that money back. Like the money I gave y'all, I need some of that back. So get it done. I don't care how you get it done. I don't care who you rob, steal, kill. Give me my money back. For us, we front our own bankroll. So when it's that case, it ain't that pressure of making the player do something that he might not want to do or sign something he don't want to sign. Like, Travis is a great example of that. Remember last year, Travis was the first player in history to be a number one pick, 9 quarterback to get 100% of his signing bonus up front ever in the history of the NFL. He was the only one ever to do that. And again, credit to him and his patience and his trust in what he was being represented by, but also understanding that and people don't know Travis was the second to the last guy to sign in that class. It was a reason why he was the second to the last guy to sign because we wanted everything we asked for. And again, and the team wanted their leverage, and we had our leverage. We wanted to make sure everybody was happy at the end of the day. So we were able to wait it out. We didn't have to force him into signing for less than what we know he was worth. Because again, ain't nobody waiting on us to get that money back. Like, look, man, we'll wait 2 months. We'll wait 3 months. We cool over here.
See, dog, you touched on something, man, that's so key. Because I spent 6 years working in 2 different agencies, and one thing about it. And then negotiation and that leverage, when that clock starts ticking, if one side of the table is going to run out of cash soon, that's who give in first.
Bingo.
And so, like, I want to just break it down for the people that Boog, like what y'all talk about is like, no, we can negotiate with these owners because we not worried about, oh man, how we gonna make payroll next week if we don't sign this today. Like they don't have that kind of juice over y'all.
Or we don't get a sign by the end of the week, he might fire us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that. Man, you touched on something about good people, good parents, good backgrounds, and making sure the cultures mesh. I think parents, man, have always been involved, right? Like in their kids' lives. It's just with NIL and social media, people think it's now more than ever, or that this is a new thing. When you look at it, man, do you see that helping or hurting? Like, how key is the parental involvement in y'all process?
The parental involvement, it's probably now big. Like it's always been there, but I think now you're getting more knowledgeable parents that's being a part of this stuff. Like back in the day, you had parents, but they didn't really understand what was going on. They wasn't privy to a lot of things. They were there though. They were there to support their kids. But these days, you got a mom or a dad who can come sit at the table and say, "Hey man, I want this because my kid's value is this." And I heard something, I read something, or somebody said something, and I know he could get this. And they coming in kind of telling you a little bit of what their roadmap should look like. You know, they able to help create the roadmap. Back then, it wasn't necessarily some of the guys creating that roadmap. They was there. But now you see a lot of these parents, you know, being the general and say, hey, this, that, go get me this, go get me that. And they telling you what to go get, you know. And those things, that's how I look at the evolvement of, the evolution of how the involvement with the parents have been. Like that's been kind of interesting to see. Like now they coming to the table with knowledge. Like they're doing their homework these days. And that's big.
Yeah, that's huge, man. Like, and when you ain't trying to hide them, when you dealing with people straight up, that kind of stuff don't worry you. Like you want your other party to be knowledgeable.
Bingo. I want to educate you.
Yeah, back in the day, you know, again, back in the days, 5 years to 50 years ago, like I don't want y'all to be informed because I want to be your only source of information.
Yep, I want to hide it for as long as I can.
Yeah. You know, man, when you look again like social media, right? Social media is really a lot of positivity. People showing they highlight reels. But one thing, when you out on the road, people who follow you, like you talk about the grind, you talk about the stuff behind the scenes, you know, and so you're pretty much an open book. But in that vein, man, as much as you allow people to get to know you, what's something people think they know about Boog, but they completely wrong on?
Man, most of the people think I'm very talkative. I'm talking a lot, and I'm really I only talk when it's time to talk. You know, I don't believe in speaking unless something needs to be said. Like I'm the guy. Like you'll see me on this and be like, man, yeah, I want to hang with him. Then you hang with me, then we sit in complete silence. You know what I'm saying, for hours at a time, because my brain don't shut off, and I'm always, you know, analytically trying to process something or figure out what the next move or what the next big thing is. And so you might think something wrong, and there's nothing wrong at all. Everything's completely fine. But this what we doing, it's not a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? I do this like, say, you know, social media, I can control it. I can say what I gotta say, then I can get off. I ain't gotta engage with nobody. I can get back to doing what I need to do. Yeah. You know, in person, you know, you gotta be able to engage and do this back and forth. And like, man, a lot of times I don't have it in me sometimes, man, you know, to do that until, like I say, I speak when I feel like it's necessary.
Man, I'm smiling because let me testify to the people out there. That's the truth. Boog is probably the most quiet person you'll ever meet when you're in the room with him. Like he be chilling in the cut. He like Coach Bryant. He see everything. He observing everything, but he ain't finna say much. Yeah. When I watch you on social media, I be like, man, like that's probably the most he done talked today, right there.
Yep, you spot on.
Yeah,
and a lot of people be like that. Like, man, you ain't got nothing. Nah, you got nothing to say. Like, you know, like, now if you want to talk about something, like, let's run it. Like, but bring me some of the substance. We can do that. But if it ain't, I'm not about to just create a conversation just because we in a room together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to do that. Yeah. But if you got something you want to talk about, we can go there. You know, we can have it.
Yeah, like Frank Lucas said, American Gangster, the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room.
Ooh,
yeah, come on now. We ain't trying to put on no show just for the sake of a show. Then.
Come on now. Come on.
You know, let's talk about some of the lows again, man. Like, when's been a time, not necessarily say with Young Money, but just the industry, when it's been a time that this business has really like broken your heart, let you down, like, you know, you just like, man, I wish it wasn't this way.
Oh, man, like, I'd have had one of the most catastrophic fall aparts ever in this industry. The people watched it fall apart in real time, and then they watched me put it back together, even better. So the answer to that, about 2020, we had a company that we had just acquired another company 2 years before that. We was on an ultimate high. First year I had D. Westbrook, Heisman finalist, Biletnikoff winner out of Oklahoma. Second year, I had a second round running back, Darius Geis out of LSU. Then the third year, number 3 overall pick with Quentin Williams, number 30 overall pick with DeAndre Baker. I had 2 first round picks in my third year starting this. Like people don't understand, like we rolling. The very next year after that, Jed Wills top 10 pick, and then second round pick with Jalen Hurts. Like that was all us for the first 4 years. And then that next year, my company split apart in real time. Like agent had an agent situation that left to take a bigger role somewhere else. For the sake of her career and do things she felt was best for her, which kudos to her for that.
Sure.
And a lot of times when you do that, and all my guys are and all of our guys are together and they with the person, they go with the agent.
Sure.
I'm not a licensed agent. So at the time that took place, so you lose not only your top agent, you lose all your players. And there, you know how hard it is to go recruit somebody after you go sit down and tell them, hey man, we had something, but they're not with us no more.
I actually do though.
Like how hard it is to go convince somebody out there, because again, no matter what happened, nobody want to know the truth. They don't care about the truth. It's just what it looks like. And then it's what the opposition, the people that you're going against, are going to say, this, that, and other. They don't know the truth either. Mm-hmm. So therefore, you're trying to offend yourself in a place where you really can't fight. There's no place to stand in that because So for 3 years, man, you had a situation where it was kind of like it was gonna dissolve and fall apart. But like I told our CEO, one of my co-founders, like, bro, all we need is 3 years. We'll be back and we're gonna be fine. And that was the start of the plan of a lot of things that a lot of people don't really understand. Like you start seeing the Coach Prime move to Jackson State, and you know what I'm saying, and then the Travis Hunter coming to Jackson State. First the Shedeur and Cam decommitting to stick with Prime at Jackson State, and then the Travis is coming to the Jackson State, and the Colorado's opening up, and then that 3-year window, and just like that, boom. Yeah, we back. And coming off another first round pick this year, with Peter Woods out of Clemson, with the Kansas City Chiefs. Like it just, went through that. Went through that and figured it out. Didn't shut down, didn't close the doors, and not one paycheck was missed. Not, didn't nobody get laid off. It was a time where, we had the weather. Well, I see a lot of companies would have folded, or I see companies would have went up under somebody else, or, I've seen a lot of stuff, taking out loans. It was none of that. We weathered that storm. And again, being self-funded and having your own bankroll, we were able to get through that to get back to where we at now. Now we better now than ever. We scarier now than ever.
Yeah, and I don't want to diminish none of that, Boog, but there's another layer I want to put on it because I kind of had a front row seat to all that. There's a large degree of you got to believe in yourself to weather that storm.
Yeah, you got to be a little delusional.
Yeah, that's a even better way to put it. Hey, you got to be damn crazy. Like betting on yourself is one thing. Betting on yourself to that degree, you got to be a little Lulu.
Yeah, you got to be like, you cannot understand like what you're really up against. Because if you really sit back and realize what you're really up against, it's gonna seem impossible, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that part. So, man, I want to get into before we wrap this thing up, because you talked about like those guys coming out of college and where they ended up going. What's y'all's process and how do y'all navigate? Because now you got NIL going. How do y'all navigate which college guys y'all are gonna work with, and how y'all help them even through college, through the combine, and then through the draft?
Some of it, again, me being the seat I sit in on, is trusting your eyes and having an ability to see what other people can't see. And I'm one of, like you say, delusional. Like I feel like I'm crazy you can call me crazy, but I feel like I see things that other people don't see. Now I'm gonna tell you this. Now you start now. Let's go back a step. Quentin Williams was a number 3 overall pick, right? That was my first time ever in the green room. At the time, he hadn't taken a snap. And I remember I sent his name to our agent group chat. Hey, we need to get on this kid. And one of my agents sent me back. I talked to one of my scouts. He hasn't played it down. They kind of laughed at me like he hadn't even played it down. We hadn't seen him. I told him this in like June before his redshirt sophomore season. And then come to find out, by like week 8 of that season, Quentin was like clearly the best football player in college football. You know, people don't know this. Quentin went number 3 overall. He only played 13 games in college. He was the number 3 overall pick. He only played 13 games. He redshirted his first year. The second year, he sat behind Deron Payne, who was a first-round pick. He only played his 3rd year in college. He played 13 games and became the number 3 overall pick, bro. Like that's so. By the time I got him, when I got on to him, he hadn't even played a game yet. He hadn't even started a game yet. So again, being able to see these things that other people can't see beforehand, and Darren Mensah, same thing, quarterback at Tulane, making $15,000 a month. I mean, $15,000 a year. Sorry, at Tulane, and then then next thing you know, I seen him. I sent a text. I said, "Man, that kid's a superstar." And then somehow we was able to close that gap and get with him. And the next thing you know, what you see the next year, 2 years, $8 million. $4 million a year. Then you go a step further. Miami came knocking. Some good business got handled. Now you look at him. He's the highest paid player. He's the highest paid player in the NIL era. Period. I don't care who you name.
Yeah.
Again, but when we found him, he wasn't that. Like people see this now, but what it take to find somebody like that before everybody else know that he is him.
Yeah.
Those things. So again, I'm gonna take credit for that. I'm gonna beat my chest on that one all day. Like I see things early, and I think there's another one coming out that I'm interested in seeing how it's went. Corey Henry out there at Alabama this year. People sleep on him, but we're gonna see how that pan out. But these things you got to be able to see it ahead of time and get ahead of it. In this case, and then once they become, then there are some guys that are gonna be rated pretty high, and then from there you got to figure out what are they lacking. Sit back, understand what do they look like they need, and if you could come up with a solution, then and if you could get in front of them, you could provide them with a substance to show, hey, you're here. But if you're going to sustain or if you're going to evolve, this is what you're missing, and that's kind of how I take it and how I move on those.
Man, you got it, man. Hey, the proof's in the pudding. The record speaks for itself, man.
Yeah.
Like that. And again, it's something I tell Coach Prime all the time. I said, man, fast twitch muscle fiber, all that stuff, that ain't your greatest gift. His greatest gift is discernment. Like that dude knows how to see something in people that the world don't see, and then how to get it out of them, including himself. Like he got that gift, man.
Yeah, he the GOAT, man. Coach Prime, but there's so much he done seen it did for all of us that you be like, bro. And sometimes I don't know if it's intentional, but with him, I'm thinking most of it's always intentional. Or sometimes he just hit on something that he didn't open the door for me on accident. Just being Prime.
Yeah, same here, man. It's like he'll, like I said, he'll see something that you don't see in yourself, and it'll put you in position to flourish it or crash and burn. The work part up to you now.
Yeah. Correct.
The opportunity. He's a way maker, opportunity giver, but you got to put in that work. Speaking of that work, man, I know you're going to see Trav. Got any updates on Shedeur, Trav? How those guys doing, man?
Trav doing better than I've ever seen him in life, man. Just the new man, the husband Trav, Papa Trav, like different guy, bro. And it's beautiful thing, like the level of peace that he's at, the work that he's putting back in, and like I say, he's been out the way, just head down, sticking to business. But now you about to see him pop back out again, and he gonna be Trav 2.0. Like he gonna be another version of himself. I call him Wolverine. He went in there, got stitched up and healed up real quick, and he back at it. Shedeur, man, I was with him for the last month. He killed me. Like I be trying to keep up, but bruh, the Shedeur, we've seen this time and time again. From me to you, Shedeur is in a different level that none of us has ever seen him at before. Like he's operating in a frequency that we've never seen before. Like to the point it's mind blowing. He's like, man, I've been around kids since they were like 5th, 6th grade, bro. Like so I know. So now it's not the fact, because again, he always was a hard worker. That was never in question. But the stuff that he's so meticulous and intentional about now is like he's surgical. Like he was always surgical with it, but he's surgical in life. And with the boss right now, I'm not even worried about him at this point. Like when they say, "Oh, it's on them," I'm like, "Man, we good." If it's on him now, we good. He ain't never operated at the level he's operating at now. Like it's scary.
Man, cannot wait to see it. Boog gonna let you go after this one, man. But this is I always close out these kind of talks. When this interview is over and people done watched it and then they forget what they even watched, what's one thing, whether we talked about it or not, that you want folks to remember about my man Boog?
That I kept it solid with everybody all the way through, and at the end of the day, I'm the guy that's gonna make sure that the people around him become better than him. That's rare. You don't find most people that want you to be better than them. Everybody I touch, I want them to pass me up, and I just want them to be able to say I was a part of that.
Y'all heard it from my man Boog, man. Get on that road, be safe. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
My brother.
C. Harris, managing partner of the Cochran firm Jackson, is one of the premier litigators in the United States. Dedicated to furthering the values of Johnny Cochran, Harris believes attorneys have a duty to restore voice to the silenced and give justice to the wronged.
The reason that you are a member of the Cochran firm is that you share my commitment to excellence to our clients.
Harris's success is credited to a set of core values shared by his team of attorneys, professionals, and staff.
You've proven to me that you care and you want to do the best job for all of our clients.
I'm here to make sure that they have a voice.
Named one of the top 10 trucking lawyers with a $150 million settlement, Terrence Harris continues to prove that he is committed to obtaining the best possible outcome for his clients.